Very good morning to you. To 7 a.m. on Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234. A shower or two around early and then partly cloudy during the afternoon. Highs about 90. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the first check of the Garden State forecast. We got a lot of precip yesterday afternoon and evening, Mike, depending on
Yes.
where you were, I guess, right?
It really
And they got a
depended on where you
hurricane?
were. Yeah, this was the forecast with Erin down in the tropics, now formed into a hurricane, expected to become a major hurricane that's maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour or greater, or a Cat 3 by tomorrow. So intensifying over the next several days, but still a fish storm, not expected to impact land for at least the next few days. It's still one to watch. Our forecast here in New Jersey: warm, muggy as promised. Temperatures begin right now in the low 70s with a temperature that's actually 2 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. It's that humidity that really feels sticky outside. Low 70s all across New Jersey. And it stays warm and humid all throughout this afternoon. So the storms that came through last night dropped anywhere from 1 to up to 2 inches of rain in a very short amount of time. However, they moved quickly. They didn't just sit and spin over the same, or sit and dump rain over the same area. Gave quite a bit of wet weather to certain parts of the state. As far as the air quality today, we're back up to 100, which is considered unhealthy down in Cape May. Some of that due to the wildfire smoke that comes back today. With a little bit of a breeze off of the water, we have a nice wind again as a sea breeze, but may not be the best looking beach day because some storms return throughout this afternoon, specifically toward the beaches. I'll show you that with the futurecast. You can see all of those storms here bubbling up south of Atlantic City and LBI, right along the sea breeze front this afternoon. So there's still enough instability in the air to create these storms that form over the coastal neighborhoods and stick around for the next several hours from, say, 2 o'clock onward into this evening's rush. Most of the rain today is across southern New Jersey. Probably won't see much in the way of wet weather across northern New Jersey. And then we clear out and bring back beautiful sunshine for tomorrow as well as Saturday with a cooler feel. Saturday's looking great with highs in the mid 80s, and Sunday a little more humid by the end of the day, but still very, very pleasant. No rainfall forecast again for this weekend, so that'll look great. The next few days featuring the rain today, specifically down south, sunshine tomorrow, cooler to start the weekend on Saturday with less humidity, and then we're back in the 90s by Sunday briefly. But there is another cool down on the way for next week. We'll tell you more about that, give you the tropical update, all the things you need to know, Ken, to get you started off on the second or this third to last weekend of unofficial summer here in New Jersey.
Poop. Can we say poop on the
Boom.
air here? Oh, I guess we
Sure.
just did, didn't we? Yeah, the unofficial. I don't like that. Official or unofficial. It's always
Mm.
sad when I hear that. And by the way, I bought some. I was going to send you the. In fact, yeah, I was going to send you the text. I did not though. I bought some Starbucks pumpkin spice coffee. I got the
Mm.
bag of it, and then I
Okay.
realized I really don't like pumpkin spice coffee. If you like it, I'll send it to you. Do you like pumpkin spice coffee?
I think they have a generous return policy at Starbucks. You might want to take
Do they
advantage of
really?
that.
Once it's open?
I mean,
It
they're
was
paying
no
for it, right?
offense. It's not, look, it's not that they don't make a good pumpkin spice coffee. It's just that
Mm.
I don't like pumpkin spice. And like an idiot, I thought, well, this time surely I'll like it. Not so much. They make, by the way, they make a mean brown sugar cinnamon, which
Oh yeah.
is, I don't care if, even if you think you don't like Starbucks, that you'll like. It is so yummy. Just saying. All right. Time to move on. All right. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you as always, my friend. We know you'll stay on top of the tropics as well. Still sticky out this morning, 72 degrees. We have a temperature in Trenton of 73. It's 72 northern New Jersey. And in terms of traffic, we got a lot. What is going on 287? Let's take a look right here. Pam will bring it up for us. This is I-287 going through Edison right now. So, of course, the camera goes out right now. Yeah, it just went out. All right, you know what? Yeah, give us the other one there, right next to it, US 1 exit, which is like an exit before Pam, if you don't mind bringing it up. There you go. So you see, this is leading up to what we were going to show you that was a perfect shot a minute ago, and now, of course, it's gone. So these people are driving into what is an incident in Edison. The right lane of the four lanes closed as you make your way to exit 2. So this is exit 1. You make your way to exit 2, and that's where the right lane is closed. So if you're among those people or you know someone, one of your loved ones, make them go over to the left to get away from, I'm sorry, go over to the right because the left lane is closed as they go up on in that area. So there you have it. And also not too far from there, exit 37 by Route 24 in Morris Township, the right lane is closed due to a disabled vehicle. And on the other side, on the the southbound side of exit 37, Route 24, there is debris in the left lane. We don't know if the two are connected, but the fact that it's at the same area tells you it probably is. There's a lot going on there. We have a disabled vehicle 280 westbound, west of exit 4 Eisenhower Parkway in East Hanover. The right lane is closed. We have a water main break North Service Road southbound by Cargo Road up in the New York border. That's been going on for days. Just like we have our own in Patterson, we have that water main break there being dealt with. We have delays on the Turnpike Eastern Spur northbound from north of interchange 15E, 1 and 9 in Newark to north of interchange 15W in Kearney. About 2 miles of delays there, but all lanes are open. The Hudson River crossings right now, still only 10 minutes at the Hudson, 15 at the Lincoln. We take a look at the GWB upper and lower levels, 80-95 approach. It is moving beautimously right now, so take advantage of that. 7:06 is our time, and a dramatic scene unfolded yesterday as DEA agents executed a search warrant at a Kingston Road home in Parsippany. Agents encountered a suspected gang member whom they believed was firing at them from the basement. The task force returned fire, striking the suspect in the shoulder. He is expected to survive with charges pending. No agents were hurt. The incident under investigation by the FBI. The detention hearing for Raul Luna Perez, an illegal alien accused of a deadly drunk driving crash in Lakewood, was delayed until Monday. Luna Perez is 43. He allegedly killed a woman and her 11-year-old daughter July 26th. And as New Jersey is, of course, a sanctuary state, authorities failed to mention his legal status to us in the media until federal agents got involved. So the locals and the state police, it's not that they didn't want to, they're not allowed to. If they pick up the phone, if they know, in fact, they're not even allowed to ask him, what's your status? But if they know that he's here illegally, they're not allowed to pick up the phone and say, by the way, he's here illegally. It took federal agents to say, who is this guy? Let's look him up. And they found out that he was here illegally. It's just disgusting. Look, I could see Governor and Attorney General Platkin. I could see if you don't want the state troopers to overtly assist because you have moral objections to them helping in federal law. But to go to the point that you will punish police if they pick up the phone, they could have gotten this, and if I may say, this alleged dirtbag out of our country a year ago when he was arrested for domestic violence. But no, you kept it quiet that he was here illegally. Then in February, he was arrested for drunk driving. All right. And you didn't tell the feds, so he was here illegally. And then in March, he was arrested for drunk driving. And you didn't tell the feds. And it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago that he hits a woman head on, allegedly, and kills her and her daughter. Now the feds come in and say, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Oh, we're not allowed to say anything. So the blood is on Governor Murphy. It's on your hands, Governor Murphy. Governor Murphy, look at your family tonight and think, there but for the grace of God go I, that my kid wasn't killed by this drunk driver, alleged drunk driver. That's the problem when you have coddling in society. So it doesn't affect you, Governor Murphy, but all these other people whose families have now been affected. And by the way, the woman who was killed and her daughter, she came here as an immigrant as well from El Salvador, but she did it legally. She actually went through the process and she worked and she paid taxes. And the reward for doing it the right way, she gets killed by an alleged drunk driver who shouldn't have been here at all. And had we functioned as a proper society in the state of frickin' New Jersey, he would not have been here. He would have been deported a year ago. It's on you, Governor Murphy. And I would pay to be there on Judgment Day to hear our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ look you in the eye and say, what were you thinking? The day will come, Governor. I promise. Lawyers for Luna Perez said that they needed more time to address immigration issues amid White House criticism of Governor Murphy's sanctuary policies. The Trump administration, of course, blames these policies for the tragedy, as do many others, as he was previously charged, as I mentioned, with domestic abuse and 2 other DUIs. But New Jersey police, again, could not notify ICE, which would have resulted in his deportation and would have saved that woman's life. So in this most recent case, Luna Perez faces charges including aggravated manslaughter. 7:10 right now, and New Jersey doctor Ritesh Kaira had his medical license suspended after allegations of prescribing opioids for sexual favors and defrauding Medicaid. The Bergen County physician accused of running a pill mill allegedly issued over 31,000 oxycodone prescriptions since 2019. Federal prosecutors say Kyra sexually assaulted patients and billed for non-existent visits. He appeared in Newark federal court last month facing charges of illegal opioid distribution and healthcare fraud. Kyra is under home detention and his practice has been closed. 7:10, the Board of Public Utilities unanimously approved $100 utility bill credits. Would be nice if it would be $100 million utility bill credit. We'd go out of business fast, though. So they approved $100 utility bill credits to ease the sting of soaring electricity prices. But wait for the details. Nothing's for free. Residential ratepayers will see $50 reductions in September and October, funded by solar and greenhouse gas initiative funds. And where's that funded by? That's funded by the majority of the taxpayers in the state of New Jersey. So what they're going to do is if you make a little less, it basically is rob from the rich and give to the poor. That's the way Democrats do things. It's never their money. It's take from hardworking taxpayers and give to people who maybe don't work. Okay, if you're retired, I get it. If you're young and struggling and trying to make it, I get it. But people who choose not to work in their middle ages and whatnot, okay. So the rest of us have to foot the bill for them. That's what this comes down to. Follows a summer of course, high energy costs driven by AI data centers, installed renewable projects like the now canceled Atlantic Shores offshore wind farm. While the credits offer a little relief, a tiny bit of relief for some, regulators warn the prices may rise further. This all comes back to the Democrats closing down 5, 6 perfectly good functioning power facilities in the state of New Jersey for the ostensibly moral cause of green energy. But yet, of course, they put the cart before the horse. They shut down the good power plants before they could build green power plants, which, by the way, never run efficiently. I have friends who are in Florida politics and government there. When the Democrats briefly controlled Florida, they put all these windmills up wherever they could and solar plants. The cost of maintenance and the cost to build these things far outweighs the benefit, far outweighs. The footprint to build a solar plant is about 10 times the size of a fossil fuel plant for the same amount of energy. But fossil fuel plant will last 100 years. A solar plant, every 5 to 6 years, you have to replace the panels, the plastic, especially in a sunny climate like Florida, the plastic turns yellow and thick, it becomes inefficient. There are also, the birds end up burning up as they fly over them. There are all sorts of issues with solar. And with windmills, windmills have killed millions of migratory birds every year. And they're a blight to see. Just saying. Other news here, Governor Phil Murphy signed bipartisan legislation creating a $500 million tax credit program to boost New Jersey's manufacturing sector. That's a good thing, with a focus on clean energy. Maybe not so good. I mean, we don't like dirt, we don't like soot, we don't like pollution, but we're proven over and over again, our idea of clean energy as it stands now, not a good idea. Clean energy done by nuclear, brilliant. Go with it. The most efficient, even by using clean natural gas, great. They even have clean coal today. All right. How about hydrogen? How about doing some more research into that? That's renewable, perpetual green energy that I think everyone, right and left, would get behind. But no, they get a little scuttle. Somebody's getting it. I don't know who. Getting a little scuttle to keep signing on with the windmill people and the solar people. So this was signed at Mac Products in Kearney. The program administered by the New Jersey Economic Development Authority targets industries like solar, geothermal. Okay, geothermal is a good idea, and advanced manufacturing. State Senator Mike Testa called it a nonpartisan effort to revive the Trenton Makes the World Takes legacy.
Manufacturing is important, and Lord knows the governor and I don't agree on a whole lot, but we're friends, and we respect each other. And one of the aspects that Governor Murphy has knocked it out of the park is in advanced manufacturing. Otherwise, we would not be here today. And you think about $500 million in tax credits. And Tim, you're the number cruncher here. What that means as far as an economic multiplier to those industries that are going to qualify and have to deliver. And that was a great point that you made. A great point that they're going to have to deliver on those promises they make to qualify for those tax credits.
that the promise of good-paying, family-supporting manufacturing jobs is still very real in New Jersey. And with the next New Jersey manufacturing program, which today's legislation will create, we're going to make sure that more families get to live that promise, not just remember it fondly.
Governor Murphy and I are wearing the same outfit. That kind of unnerves me. Do you notice that? Gray jacket, yellow pocket square, white shirt. But I comb my hair, Governor. Maybe we can get you a comb. Your wife is so nice. I will send a comb. I bet you if I give her a comb to give to you, she'll give it to you. Just saying. She is an awesome lady, by the way. The initiative, funded by reallocating existing tax credits, aims to spur job creation and position New Jersey as a manufacturing leader. That's something we could all get behind. Let's hope. In Trenton, a rare bipartisan pushback is growing against proposed labor regulation changes that could impact thousands of New Jersey gig workers. 21 lawmakers, mostly Democrats, oppose the Department of Labor's plan to implement an ABC test to reclassify independent contractors, potentially stripping many of their 1099 status, people like rideshare, et cetera. State Senator Declan O'Scanlan and business leaders warn this could raise the cost for services like food delivery. A bill to block the changes is now in the works. Ostensibly, it sounds like a good idea until you look at the nitty gritty of it. And Allegiant Airlines has added Atlantic City to its network, launching 4 new routes from Fort Lauderdale, St. Petersburg, Sanford, and Punta Gorda, Florida, they say Punta Gorda down there, starting December 4th and President's Day weekend. One-way fares, get this, during the promotional period at just $39 from Atlantic City. The airline is also expanding to Florida from Huntsville, Alabama. It aims at offering affordable travel to Atlantic City's iconic boardwalk and beyond. This is at a time that Newark is cutting back on flights. And you have airlines that, like the one I love, Spirit. People make fun of it. Spirit's a great airline. And right now they're struggling. They're teetering on the border. And same thing with JetBlue. They're also struggling. These airlines had like 10 flights a day. Now they're down to like 2 to Florida. And if you can support them, both JetBlue, Spirit, and Allegiant, good for you for coming into the market. At least they're coming into Atlantic City, but we'll see what happens. This is, by the way, the reason the airlines are struggling is because of President Biden imposing the restrictions he did on the fuel industry during his 4 years. That caused fuel prices for jet fuel to almost triple in some cases. That is how they make it. You think airlines are all billionaires. Now, a lot of these airlines are like grocery stores. They barely make a profit per flight. You double or triple the fuel price and they go out of business. And that is what is going on with a lot of the smaller, especially airlines right now. 718 and Fright Fest is set to return to Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson starting September 12th. After last year's event faced delays and limited operations, adrenaline junkies are hoping for a full experience this Halloween season. The attraction will feature haunted mazes, scare zones, nighttime shows, and roller coasters in complete darkness. I love that place. 718 right now, we have 72 degrees. When we come back, New Jersey Globe editor David Wildstein with the latest on New Jersey's political scene. He'll have the inside edge. We're coming right back. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings for your Thursday. I'm Ken Rosato, 719. We have, what is it up here? 72 degrees in northern New Jersey and Trenton, 73, but it is very sticky. A shower or two around this morning. Then partly cloudy this afternoon, highs around 90. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. Can't wait for that refreshing breeze by this time tomorrow. Clear out the humidity, set the stage for a beautiful weekend, lots of sunshine too. Give it a little bit of that pumpkin spice weather, like you were saying. I don't know. Maybe our director Pam is very excited about that with the cooler weather on the way. Likely feel the 50s up in northern New Jersey for Saturday morning. That's where you'll really feel that crispness to the air. And then the leaves start changing colors, and it's all downhill from there, at least in terms of the summer perspective. We look forward to the sunshine this morning, but storms again this afternoon. Really south of Ocean County into Atlantic County today. I think you're pretty clear in Monmouth County, even though some of these showers could pop up. Most of the storms with the heavy rains will be south and at the beaches today. It already feels like 75 degrees with that humidity. Feels like 77 on LBI this morning. Very warm to begin the day. Had our storms come through last night, some of which with some gusty winds, briefly heavy rain, and now we're starting to clear out for the rest of the morning. The wildfire smoke, it looks like it's working its way upstate. Might get a little taste of that into tomorrow and the weekend with that air moving in this direction from the north and west. So here's the remainder of the storminess. You can see a couple of these showers that'll work through later today. That's along the front. So UV index a little bit lower today. We're down to a 7 as opposed to the 8 the last few days, which is only high, but still could use the sunscreen, especially if you're out for most of the afternoon. It stays humid right through 7 o'clock this evening. Look at these dew points in the mid 70s. That's tropical. It'll feel quite humid until we get to tomorrow morning. And then a nice dry beginning to the morning tomorrow up in northern New Jersey. Look at that. The dew points in the 50s. That is much drier on the scale. And that will feel very pleasant, refreshing, kind of like a fall morning. Now, it warms up a little bit, and some of that humidity still lingers because the front doesn't quite push through until the end of the day tomorrow. So there's still plenty of humidity to endure down in southern New Jersey. And then we start to see the humidity creep back in day by day throughout the rest of the weekend into Sunday. How does that look for a heat index? Well, it's going to feel like the 90s again today. Very warm across most of New Jersey, but we start to cool things down with a refreshing feel going into the weekend. Only the 70s along the shore to start off Saturday morning and feeling quite nice, even Saturday afternoon. Low 80s inland, upper 70s along the coast, a very pleasant feel with lots of sunshine around. So hour by hour, taking you through this weekend into Monday. I think we've got more clouds on the way next week, but look what happens by Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. You see a large mass of clouds offshore, and then that is what will be by then Hurricane Erin off the screen. So it's kind of going by there toward the well out to sea. A lot of the big global weather models keep the storm out to sea and keep it a fish storm. So that's what you see here. Now a tropical storm expected to become a hurricane later today, but all of the computer models turn it out to sea and put it right between us and Bermuda. So a look of that right now, zooming on in shows a little bit of strengthening there from the heat of yesterday, and that will be one to watch over the next several days. The next few afternoons feature the sunny weather, especially this weekend with beautiful weather on Sunday. 92 and sunny, a little warmer by the end of the weekend, but we'll take it given that it turns and stays sunny for next weekend.
All right, sir. I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, am I glitching out right now? We're having signal issues from my end. Pam, am I glitching out or am I looking all right? I'm glitching. All right, let's skip traffic. Thank you very much, Mike. We have 72 degrees. Let's go to David Wildstein with the Inside Edge, and we'll fix this.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Edge. It's Thursday, August 14th, and New Jersey holds its primaries in June. It has since 1968, except for the COVID VBM July primary. Before that, primaries moved around the calendar at the whim of legislators and this really shouldn't surprise you, who look to schedule a primary to fit their own particular interest in a single moment in time. And if you think that election laws are inconsistent today, you should travel back in time and meet the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and 50s and 60s, when each year the legislature figured out when they'd like to hold a primary election. And it was like a bouncing ball. The date moved around each for a particular reason that's now just an asterisk in history. Sometimes they picked April, sometimes May or June, and for a while, mostly in September. Imagine the days when members of the state assembly serve 1-year terms. They were elected in November. and they took office in January. And there were times where they had to face a primary after just 3 months in office. Voters didn't know from year to year when the primary was going to be held until the legislature decided to schedule it. And still, voter turnout in primaries was higher than it is today. Yesterday, I was asked why the legislature moved the 1968 primary from September to June. And considering the national focus on mid-decade congressional redistricting, the story is especially prescient. Republicans had won control of both houses of the legislature in 1967. They went from 9 Senate seats to 31, from 19 assembly seats to 58. Gains came after a state constitutional convention on legislative apportionment that followed the U.S. Supreme Court's one man, one vote decision. They were veto proof majorities, both houses. And in January of 68, the legislature approved the June primary. And in February, in an era where the legislature drew maps, they approved a plan to tinker with the 2 Bergen County congressional district. It shifted 14 towns represented in what's now the 5th district by Republican Bill Widnall into another district in a bid to flip a House seat and take out Democratic Congressman Henry Helstosky. The Democratic towns were sent to the Republican district, and the map was drawn by Assembly Speaker Peter Moritz, who then ran for the seat himself. Widnall dropped from 66 to 62%. And Helstosky, who beat an incumbent by 2,400 votes, 1 point in 1964, and then won a rematch 2 years later by 2,500 votes, a little less than 2 points. Despite the attempt to steal the seat, Helstosky held on and won by 2,300 votes, about 1 percentage point, in a district where Richard Nixon beat Hubert Humphrey by 12 points. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow.
All right, David, thank you very much. 727, New York City mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani blasted rival Andrew Cuomo's proposed Zohran's law that would target privileged New Yorkers who live in rent-stabilized homes, but gave no sign that he, Mamdani, would move out of his own rent-stabilized apartment. The 33-year-old Mamdani lives in a $2,300 a month luxurious rent-stabilized Astoria apartment while pulling 150 grand a year as a state assemblyman, and his wife is thought to make about 100,000 more. So a $2,300 a month apartment, that's meant for low-income people, not $250,000 a year folks. His parents, by the way, a filmmaker and an author and college professor, are said to be worth tens of millions of dollars. The ex-governor, Andrew Cuomo, concocted Zohran's law as Mamdani faced criticism for not giving up his rent-stabilized apartment in what critics said was a hypocritical stance that clashed with his communist pro-affordable housing campaign message. And an idea that Zohran Mamdani wanted to impose on New Yorkers, so-called free grocery stores around the city, has been proven a failure everywhere else it's been tried, most recently in Kansas City. The Sunfresh grocery store closed its doors this past Tuesday after struggling to stay open for the last 10 years. And in spite of an infusion of nearly 20 million taxpayer dollars. In fact, the City Council of Kansas City just gave the market an additional $750,000 3 months ago. They blew right through that and had to close down. Neighbors blame the closing on crime and homelessness, but maybe the fact that people could just take food and not pay for it, maybe that has something to do with the store's failure. I guess these people never heard of something called capitalism. And as temperatures soar, many reach for iced water to cool off, right? But experts at the Ice Maker Hub warn that could do more harm than good. Drinking large amounts of ice cold water may cause digestive issues, abdominal cramping, even chest pains from esophageal spasms. Sounds horrible. Remember, Grandma always said, "It's too cold. Don't drink that water so fast. It's cold." My grandmother didn't talk like that. Probably yours either, but just saying. It can also disrupt your body's natural cooling, leading to dizziness, Instead, experts recommend sipping cool water, not ice cold, throughout the day to stay hydrated and avoid heat-related illnesses. Steer clear of alcohol and hot caffeinated drinks, which can dehydrate you more. And President Trump announced 5 recipients of the annual Kennedy Center honors yesterday, including actor Sylvester Stallone, the rock band Kiss, and disco icon Gloria Gaynor. British actor Michael Crawford, best known for his role in Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, and country music star George Strait also will be honored at a ceremony later this year. And this year's Kennedy Center honors will be held December 7th. It will be hosted by none other than the former star of The Apprentice, our current president, Donald Trump. It is 72 degrees now at 7:30. When we come back, the Falcon Wrestling Center in Helden will host a special event honoring Olympic gold medalist Bruce Baumgartner. We'll talk about the event. The phone lines are open, 888-658-0234. Shower or two this morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs around 90. The full Garden State forecast with meteorologist Mike Favetta when we return. And you're watching On New Jersey Morning, seen daily at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X, and now streamed live on Substack, Rumble, and Twitch at twitch.tv/On New Jersey. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Hoffman, host of Energy Matters. Join me every night at 6 p.m. where we're discussing energy affordability, challenges, and solutions with stakeholders and elected officials. Join me weekdays at 6 p.m. on Energy Matters on ONNJ.
Good morning, 72 degrees now, 7:31, Thursday, August 14th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. A shower or two around early this morning, then partly cloudy during the afternoon, highs about 90. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the detailed Garden State forecast. Mike, if we hit 90, is that yet another heat wave then?
I would be, yeah. Another round of hot weather today here across New Jersey. So heat wave number, I don't know, I lost count of them at 5 or 6. They just all kind of string together. It's been a
200.
hot summer. It's been a hot summer, yeah. And it really depends on your perspective too, because if you're sitting inside in the air conditioning, if you're in a pool, it doesn't feel like a heat wave to you, right? Right?
Nope.
Trying to get away from the heat, exactly. And so let the climatologist deal with all the number crunching. I'll deal with the daily forecast. How about that? Plenty of great weather today, Ken. We start off with plenty of clear sky with highs that will climb into the mid 80s, and with overall a pretty great beach weekend again. See, that's what counts. You can fine tune and argue about the numbers 89, 90 in my neighborhood or not. All you care about if it's going to be sunny this weekend, and it will, which we like, especially with improving air quality, lesser air quality, poor air quality, I should say, down toward Cape May, as some of that smoke comes back into the picture by this afternoon. But even so, with the record high set back 3 dates, 44, 88, and 2005, we are only making it to 93 today. It's going to feel quite warm through the end of the day. Even Newark picked up over 1.25 inches of rain yesterday with that wet weather. So clear sky to start the day, but very muggy, very humid. There is another round of rain on the way this afternoon, but most of it will be limited to the shore points. And this is because the sea breeze front will help to develop some storms later today right at the coast. So it's very influential with the water being so close. If you head to northern New Jersey, you probably won't get much rain at all. Water temperatures warm into the mid 70s today, and high tide right around 1 o'clock when those storms get going. So keep that in mind. Beaches, you'll have your thunderstorms this afternoon with the UV index at a 7, which is high. Until then, at least the rip current risk is low for now, but I have a feeling that increases by next week due to this. This is Tropical Storm Erin that is working through the Atlantic Basin right now. Doesn't have an eye yet, but likely will form one in the next day or so, become a hurricane, and then forecast to become a major hurricane by the end of the weekend. There are the storms that will forecast to develop later on this afternoon down the shore. Mostly, again, northern New Jersey pretty much stays dry with just some clouds and very humid weather. And then a drier northerly breeze comes in and makes it feel very pleasant, almost a little chilly in the morning, especially for Saturday morning. Lovely weather to enjoy. Great weather all around. There's the front that is sliding on through, keeping all of the rain to our south throughout the day today into tomorrow. Passing clouds, but overall, I think the 2 high pressure centers near New Jersey will keep us nice and clear. And then another front pushes in could give us a late afternoon sprinkle by Saturday night into Sunday. So the 7-day forecast looks pretty decent. I mean, there's no significant rainfall, except if you're at the beaches today. Lots of dry weather right through the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then it heats up a little bit for Monday, Sunday into Monday. But look how it cools down into the low 80s by this time next week. A very pleasant feel with not as insanely high humidity. So that'll feel very pleasant. Even the shore points throughout the weekend, nice and dry. And then Monday and Tuesday of next week, cooling off into the low 80s. Just the way we like to wrap up the week with awesome weather ahead and a nice forecast going into the weekend, Ken.
You know what? I have my little book of gold star stickers. You get another one. You have, in fact,
Cool.
I'm running out. I got to order, I got to get on the Amazon later and order more gold star stickers. Mike Favetta, chief meteorologist. By the way, all of your the sub meteorologists, I'm
Mm.
so glad we got the chief on the show.
Oh, okay.
Just saying. And that's why I'm the head anchor on the show. Just saying, of all the other anchors. Just all of you be quiet over there. They sit there waiting for me to drop dead, Mike. They're just waiting
They want
to
their
sit and
star
see.
too.
Mike, you are the best, sir. Thank you for putting up with my insanity. 7:35. We will be back in just a little bit with you. It's 72 degrees. Mike is the best, as always. Let's take a look at the traffic. We have I-80 in, this is in Patterson at Route 20. It's moving, but just a little slowly. So this is about a 5-10 mile an hour stretch. This often happens during rush hour. It's a combination of the sun. You can see the sun is at their backs. So these people are heading west right now on the left side on I-80. They're headed east on the right side. But it's just volume as folks head into Patterson right now with the sun behind them looking in their rearview mirror, just to be expected. We also have delays on Route 21 northbound from north of exit 13, which is Route 46. Or to Route 46 in Clifton. All lanes are open, but that's about a 2 mile stretch of slow traffic. And the Hudson River crossings right now, the Holland Tunnel, it's about 10 minutes into Manhattan, 15 at the Lincoln. Let's take a look at the upper and lower levels. 8095 approach to the GWB moving beautimously. Good thing to do. Take that in. It's only 10 minutes right now. 7:36 is our time, and tomorrow the Falcon Wrestling Center in Halden will host a special event. It honors Olympic gold medalist and wrestling legend Bruce Baumgartner, a proud native of the borough. The evening will also raise funds to improve the community recreation center and to help launch a Little League wrestling program for young athletes in the Halden area. Joining us now is Dave Heitman, who is head wrestling coach at Manchester Regional High School and host of tomorrow's event. Good morning to you, Dave. Welcome.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
Great, thank you. First of all, let me just say, I remember my friends who were wrestlers when I was in high school. It is unbelievable the amount of diligence, the effort, the working out, the training that it takes. It is it is not just this, it is this that comes to wrestling. Wrestling is I think every school has to offer it. It's such a brilliant sport. What can we expect at tomorrow's event, and how is Bruce going to be involved?
Okay, Bruce Baumgartner and a lot of people, he flies under the wire, Ken. When you say he makes Halden proud, he makes
Right.
all of United States wrestling proud. He should make all of New Jersey proud. He's one of the greatest athletes in history. He has
Mhm.
4 Olympic medals, 2 golds, 9 world medals. All right, this guy is Michael Jordan. He's Wayne Gretzky. You go down the line, Babe Ruth. This is who he is in wrestling. And wrestlers are funny. They fly under the wire. And like you
Mhm.
said, it's the great sport in the world. All right. Cavemen wrestled, for crying out loud. It's the first sport. And so Bruce is going to come into town. We talked to Bruce. He's all about the kids. And he said, what do I got to do? And we said, we need you to come into town. And he's coming in. He's a very, very busy man. He's president of USA Wrestling now. He's president of the World Wrestling Association. All right. So he's going to be in tomorrow night. And we're filling up the place, the rec center over in Halden. And we're trying to raise money. We don't have a little league in our school. And, we have a middle school team and they do as well as they can. But, in all sports, whether it's soccer, baseball, kids start when they're young. And for us to compete on a higher level and for the kids to get exposed to it and fall in love with it, we got to get a little league in town, and Bruce knows that, and everybody in town is on board. We're all fired up.
Excellent. My friend John, who used to wrestle, he was a wrestling champ in my high school in the city, and I remember asking him, "What what body part do you work out the most for your wrestling? And he said, what body part? Every. He said, there isn't a muscle in my body that I don't need functioning perfectly to wrestle. It is such an art and a sport, an incredible sport. How will the funds raised, by the way, support the community rec center? What do you guys need right now to help build it up a little bit more?
Well, and again, we take donations. We're doing anything, but we want to get the Little League on board. The rec center is in dire need of renovations, and the town is doing the very best they can. You know, they struggle with budgets like everyone else. Town council, the mayor Johnson's been great with us. He's all fired up. What do you need, Dave? What are you doing? On the other hand, you know, our school board, John Coviello, our superintendent, everybody came together on this thing. And, you know, so what we needed was community. And the community is coming together and they're realizing we have a really great rec center here. It just needs help. And,
Yeah.
you know, so we're excited about this. We're struggling. Halden right now has a water issue, as you well know. And
Yep.
but we're going ahead. We're wrestlers. And your friend who wrestled, he's absolutely right. I mean, my earlobes hurt when I'm done
Mm.
wrestling. You know, everything hurts. My hair hurts, and you know, so it's the greatest sport in the world, and it's a life lesson sport. And we want to give this to the kids. We want the kids to see this, especially in this town where you know the kids will really grasp a hold of it and make them better people, better
And Dave,
people.
just for the record, you know, my friend, after 4 years of champion wrestling, he went on to
Yes,
become, get this, an attorney, a CFP, and a CPA. All three.
thank
It just shows you the training and
you.
the diligence that wrestling will give you because his diet was regimented, his workout plan was regimented, he didn't drink alcohol, he never smoked, and he worked out like a fiend. And
Yeah.
this is what he did later. He applied that all those skills to life, and he's a success to this day. And he always credits his wrestling with that. Wrestling is an amazing thing.
And it's also a sport of character. Okay, all right. You respect your opponents.
Yes.
Okay, for the rest of their lives. And when most firms today are smart. Navy SEALs, they're going to be at the event tonight because they recruit swimmers and wrestlers, all right, because of their work ethic, all right. And in spite of what people believe, all right, it's a team sport, all right. You wrestle for that guy's side beside you, like the Marines. They fight for that man beside them, and you do better when you fight for other people. You do better, and you know so you know, everybody should put their kid into wrestling at least for
Mhm.
a little while. All right, it's not for everybody. Okay, it is incredibly difficult. But anyway, the best of the best of the best is from New Jersey, Ken, and
Yes.
people need to know that, and they don't know it because of his humility, his humbleness. Okay, you'd stand next to him in the deli, and you wouldn't know this guy won 9 world medals,
Unreal.
17 national titles. Okay, and you would never know it. He's a regular dude, you know, and that's the beauty of the sport. All right, we're
And
humble
I could only
because there's
imagine.
always someone out there that can beat us. What's that?
I'm just thinking, I'm sorry, Dave, to step in here. I'm just thinking of what effort and all the training and the data, the things you give up, but in order to just focus on that and to become one of the best, literally the GOAT, one of the best in the whole world at it, is just it's so inspiring to think that he's one of us. He's from the Garden
He,
State.
he
Just
is
it
the
really
goat.
is amazing.
He is
Yeah.
the goat, and I really appreciate your time because people don't know enough about what the sport does for people.
You know what, Dave? And I'm sorry, and I mean no offense to like the quote unquote pro wrestling, like the World Wrestling Foundation, that kind of thing. I mean no disrespect to them because these guys are also. I mean, look, you can't throw each other across a platform like that and not be in good shape. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about trained,
Yeah.
ethical, real wrestling, and especially in an era when we're worried about football head injuries, we're worried about like boxing head and facial injuries. Wrestling isn't that, right? Wrestling is about honing and toning and rules and regulations. And if you want to make sure your kid is in a great sport and not have to worry about concussive issues down the line, that's your sport right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, people don't know, and I tell the kids in the wrestling room every day, this is going to be the best shape you're ever going to be in your life. You know, we're working high school kids like, you know, 2 hours a day they work. We go in and we work, we work. I have a great staff. Okay, and Division I wrestlers in a room that just want to teach, and nobody who's coaching in wrestling is doing it for the money. No one. They're doing it for what it does for the kids. All right. Every wrestling coach that you see is not in there. They're in there for the right reasons. And every wrestlers you see, doctors, lawyers, like you said, they go out and they achieve no matter what they do, no matter whether they're police officers or they're in the military. They refuse to lose. They just keep on trucking, and they'll go through injury. We work through injury. Stuff happens, but again, the discipline, and we don't get enough, and we don't look for it. I think that's the thing. But you see guys going to UFC who are winning, the wrestlers. All right, they go in and they're beating people, winning UFC titles. And why?
Right.
Because of the skill sport. That's it right there.
100%. 100%. Dave, how could people attend or get involved if they want to support, even if they can't go and they want to support? What's a website for them to get more information and to help out?
Well, we have a Falcon Wrestling Center. Okay, we have not such a website, but we do have an email. So it's Falcon Wrestling Center at gmail.com. Okay, and then again, we're going to be going strong tomorrow night. We don't really have a lot of seats, and we're struggling with the water issues. The rec center right now is set up for showers. It's set up for water, and the mayor. We're working on parking. So it's going to be hard to get in the door. We're just happy with what we have. But if you go to Falcon Wrestling Center at gmail.com, there's information there. And then again, if you want to pursue it more, Dave Heitman at yahoo.com. I'd be happy to personally answer this. And the
Those,
beauty
by
of
the
this,
way, yeah, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
and the beauty of this sport is, all right, if you want to call Michael Jordan, okay, yeah, I highly doubt you want to show up at LeBron James's front door and throw baskets. It ain't going to happen. All right. But wrestlers, I've been on the phone with Dan Gable, sent information. You talk about professional wrestling. Kurt Angle sent in a video for Bruce. Kurt Angle's a professional wrestler who won a gold medal. He sent me information. I called him on the phone. Okay. And not a problem. And I mean, who knows this? Who am I? And they answer the phone, and they're all in it to make the sport a better sport. And by the way, adding girls, New Jersey has done a great job with the young ladies, a great job. All right, I think the best in the country. And USA Wrestling brought in the girls, and it's helping college wrestling. It's helping everyone.
Amazing. And just so for those people, I wanted to say from Central and South Jersey who don't realize what we're talking about with the water in Patterson, we had a major water main break last week, and it's still not. I guess it's still not 100% fixed. And so all the towns around Patterson that rely on that water, they have no water. And any water that they're getting little to no. You can't drink, you can't shower in it, so they're having to use, in this case, the rec center or high schools to shower and
Oh,
get
nothing.
drinking water.
No high
It's
school.
horrible.
Nothing. We have nothing. So we had to get Porto Johns, and we're making it work. We're wrestlers. We don't care.
Hopefully this week. Hopefully it'll be. We hope it'll. This is a 140-year-old water system. That's the shame. Why did they let it go 140 freaking years? Excuse me. Look at my Italian coming out. That should have been taken care of 50 years ago. They should have replaced that system. They keep putting it off until it's too late. We'll do another show on that one.
You need a bunch of wrestlers working on that one, Ken.
You'll have it fixed in an hour. All right, Bruce. Bruce, I called you. See that? I'm calling you Bruce, Dave. I just want to make sure everybody knows the event honoring Olympic gold medalist superstar from Halden, Bruce Baumgartner. It's going to be held tomorrow evening starting at 6:30. It is still on in spite of the water issues at the Falcon Wrestling Center in Halden, raising funds to improve the community rec center and to launch a Little League Wrestling Center. Dave Heitman, head wrestling coach at Manchester Regional High School. Thank you for joining us this morning. Come back again, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ken. Much appreciated.
You bet. Thank you. Have a good time tomorrow too. Take care. Sounds like a great event. Man, that's going to be huge. It is 72 degrees right now, 7:48, and a shower or two ahead this morning, then partly cloudy later. Highs could be 90. Mike will be back with the full Garden State forecast. We're coming right back. It was 7:49. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. A shower or two around the area this morning, then partly cloudy during the afternoon. Sticky. Highs near 90. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full Garden State forecast. Mike, did you ever wrestle in high school?
No, no, never did. I was recruited by the Italian teacher who was the wrestling coach. So yeah. But what wasn't a big wrestler. My brother-in-law, big wrestler. And now to see my
Really?
three nieces wrestle each other, it's kind of hilarious because they just
Yeah.
they beat each other up as little 4 and 6 year olds. So
I love it. That's a whole
it's
different kind of
okay.
wrestling, but fun to watch
It's
nonetheless.
true. It's true. It's true. But we've got some great weather to be outdoors today. If you have any plans this afternoon, especially in northern New Jersey, improvement in the air quality. Currently, we're below 50, which is good. Anytime that number is below 100, it's okay. And it will be throughout this afternoon. The average statewide AQI is 89. With the temperatures today climbing into the upper 80s, it'll feel warm. There's the potential for a shower. But again, most of the rain is across southern New Jersey today along that sea breeze front by this afternoon developing. As far as the drought monitor, which just came out, we're improving across central and western parts of the state because of all of that rain that fell yesterday. And I think we get another improvement by this afternoon. So there is Erin, still a tropical storm, likely to become a hurricane later today. And with that, now maximum sustained winds at 50 miles per hour. It keeps moving westward on that northwesterly trajectory north of the Caribbean, and then a lot of the computer models beyond Saturday take it well offshore mainland US, but still there's some wiggle room there, likely getting up to 125 mile per hour maximum sustained winds by Tuesday. So one to watch over the next 5 days. For us here back at home, notice how most of the eastern US is slightly below average in terms of forecast temperature. And then we might have a little bit of extra rain coming in with slightly above average rainfall. So maybe a wetter finish to the month, but again, it's slight, not too much. There will be some wet weather around southern New Jersey today. Most of the northern part of the state stays dry, and then we are dry into this weekend. Feeling pleasant, a little cool for Saturday morning. Humidity comes back by Sunday, highs in the low 90s, and then we cool off quite a bit to slightly below average by Wednesday. So it'll feel quite nice about a week from now. Again, shore points, nice and sunny this weekend, and then into next week, cooler still, 80 as the high on Wednesday. That's a sign that summer is wrapping up when our high only climbs to 80, but it'll be a comfortable 80 degrees. So we'll take that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that. And it is sticky right now, 72 degrees, but the humidity is way up there in the 80 percentile, and that's not a good thing range. I'm going to ask Pam to take a camera live on the air that we didn't talk about, Pam. If you can go to the I-295 tour, go down to NJ42NB, NJ42NB at I-76 eastbound ramps, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We got traffic. So this is making your way down in central New Jersey toward Phil. Thank you. That's it. Pam's so good. So good. And that leads to Philadelphia. And you can see what's going on right there. There's a row of traffic there. There's a couple of broken down tractor trailers there, it looks like, and heavy traffic making your way past them. So just beware that. That's again down in going toward Philadelphia. That's I-76 eastbound ramps of 295 northbound where they intersect. So beware of that. We have a disabled vehicle on the New Jersey Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound south of Interchange 9, which is Route 18 in East Brunswick, with the left lane and shoulder blocked right now. And there's a crash on the New Jersey Turnpike, different area outside the entry of Interchange 12, which is by Carteret, 2 left lanes blocked there. And we have delays right now on I-280 westbound, just east of the Stickle Drawbridge in Harrison to Clifton Avenue in Newark. All lanes are open, but there is a bit of a slowdown through there. Hudson River approaches right now. The Holland Tunnel moving very well, 10 minutes in. It's about 20 minutes now at the Lincoln, just a little volume there. And at the GWB, the 80-95 upper and lower levels still moving magnificently. Let's hope that continues. 7:53 is our time right now. A dramatic scene unfolded yesterday as DEA agents executed a search warrant at a Kingston Road home in Parsippany. Agents encountered a suspected gang member whom they believed was firing at them from the basement. The task force returned fire, striking the suspect in the shoulder. They say that he should survive, with charges pending. No agents were injured. The incident now under investigation, as you see right there, by the FBI. 7:54. The detention hearing for Raul Luna Perez, an illegal alien accused of a deadly drunk driving crash in Lakewood, was delayed until Monday. Luna Perez is 43. Police say he killed a woman and her 11-year-old daughter July 26th in a wrong-way crash, or he was head-on over the double yellow line, they said. And as New Jersey is a sanctuary state, authorities failed to mention his legal status until federal agents got involved. Lawyers for Luna Perez said they needed more time to address immigration issues amid the White House's criticism of Governor Murphy's sanctuary policies. The Trump administration blames those policies for the deaths of the woman and her daughter, both of whom, by the way, were themselves immigrants from El Salvador. They came here legally, though. Luna Perez, according to authorities, was previously charged with domestic abuse and not one but two other DUIs, but New Jersey police were not allowed to notify ICE, which would have then resulted in his deportation and the saving of the lives of the woman and her daughter who were here legally. In this most recent case, Luna Perez faces charges including aggravated manslaughter. Governor Murphy, the blood of the two dead rests on your shoulders. 7:55, New Jersey doctor Ritesh Kalra had his medical license suspended after allegations of prescribing opioids for sexual favors and defrauding Medicaid. The Bergen County doctor accused of running a pill mill allegedly issued over 31,000 oxycodone prescriptions since 2019. Federal prosecutors say Kalra sexually assaulted patients and billed for non-existent visits. He appeared in Newark federal court last month, facing charges of illegal opioid distribution and healthcare fraud. Kalra now under home detention. His practice has been closed. 7:56, the Board of Public Utilities unanimously approved $100 utility bill credits to help ease the sting of soaring electric prices in New Jersey. Residential ratepayers will see a $50 reduction in each of September and October, funded by solar and greenhouse gas initiative funds. This follows a summer of high energy costs driven by AI data centers installed renewable projects like the now canceled Atlantic Shores offshore wind farm. So basically what happened was Democrats in Trenton decided to close 6 perfectly functioning power plants in New Jersey because they were fossil fuel or nuclear, and they didn't like that. That went against their beliefs. Before they could open green energy plants with the hopes that, we'll have them open soon enough. But that takes like 10 years or longer. And now that the federal government has outlawed the construction of windmill plants, that only leaves solar. And if you built 10 solar plants in New Jersey, it wouldn't suffice for the 6 other plants that we lost. So right now we're having to buy our electricity from other states at double the cost, which is why the electric rates went up 20% last year and over 20% this year, and they're going to continue to rise. So while these little tiny credits offer relief, and by the way, they're getting the money from, if you are in the middle and upper middle class, you're paying for people in the lower and lower middle class right now. That's where that relief is coming from, by the way. It's not like coming from God. Governor Phil Murphy signed bipartisan legislation creating a $500 million tax credit program to boost New Jersey's manufacturing sector with a focus on clean energy. It was signed at Mac Products in Kearney. The program, administered by the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, targets industries like solar, geothermal, and advanced manufacturing. State Senator Mike Testa, a good man, called it a nonpartisan effort to revive the Trenton Makes, the World Takes legacy.
Manufacturing is important, and Lord knows the governor and I don't agree on a whole lot, but we're friends, and we respect each other. And one of the aspects that Governor Murphy has knocked it out of the park is in advanced manufacturing. Otherwise, we would not be here today. And you think about $500 million in tax credits. And Tim, you're the number cruncher here. What that means as far as an economic multiplier to those industries that are going to qualify and have to deliver. And that was a great point that you made, a great point that they're going to have to deliver on those promises they make to qualify for those tax credits.
That the promise of good-paying, family-supporting manufacturing jobs is still very real in New Jersey. And with the next New Jersey manufacturing program, which today's legislation will create, we're going to make sure that more families get to live that promise, not just remember it fondly.
Well, the initiative, funded by reallocating existing tax credits, aims at spurring job creation and will position New Jersey as a manufacturing leader. We will let you know as this continues. And in Trenton, a rare bipartisan pushback is growing against proposed labor
Manufacturing is important,
regulation
and Lord
changes that could
knows
impact thousands of New Jersey gig workers. 21 lawmakers, mostly Democrats, oppose the Department of Labor's plan to implement the so called ABC test to reclassify independent contractors, potentially stripping many of their 1099 status. State Senator Declan O'Scanlan and business leaders warn this could raise costs for services like food delivery and ride shares. A bill to block the changes is currently in the works. It is 72 degrees now at 7:59. When we come back, left-wing politicians used to getting away with playing politics and lawfare. Well, they're not getting away with what they used to anymore. Dave Bondy, editor of the Keeping It Real newsletter and host of Keeping It Real with Dave Bondy on Substack, will join us to talk about it. Plus, we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Shower or two around early, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs near 90. The full Garden State forecast in just a moment. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings, back in 30. Very good morning. It is 8 a.m. Thursday, August 14th, 2025. 73 degrees in northern New Jersey, 74 degrees in Trenton right now. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. A shower or two this morning and then partly cloudy in the afternoon. Highs around 90. We had meteorologist Mike Favetta. He's checking out the potential of a hurricane, but not heading toward us. It's impacting fish. The fish are
Yes,
very upset with you, Mike.
they're very upset. I know I have to take the file those complaints of the marine category. It's a whole thing going on, but I think it might impact wave heights next week. This time next week, because it will be very nice beach weather next weekend. Oh, of course, the camera doesn't want to go on. Well, I think it's going to be a little bit more of an issue for the waters going into next weekend. But our forecast here for the now and present looks pretty good. We start off nice and dry and sunny and humid, but typical of August, right? Especially with temperatures that begin in the mid 70s, warming throughout this afternoon once more into the low 90s. We're pretty much where we were yesterday in terms of temperatures, this time running about 2 and 4 degrees warmer and or cooler. Notice the dew points or the temperature where they are saturated, very warm and very humid. So it stays sticky today. Had our rain last night, have clearing throughout northeastern New Jersey, but now the air pollution swaps and goes down toward the southwestern corner of the state, especially there toward Cape May. Your AQI hitting 100, which is anytime the number is 100 or less, that is good. Our forecast going into this afternoon has a little bit of a sea breeze, which will help develop a few afternoon storms later today. And with that, I think we'll get another round of that wet weather at the beaches. So you see it by 1 o'clock. Some of these storms develop down through Atlantic City, LBI, through Cape May. And as those storms push out, giving another round of wet weather, most of the activity is across southern New Jersey. If you head across central and northern New Jersey, you're pretty much just dry with a cooling effect by the afternoon as that front does its job and pushes out all of the moisture. It brings back and delivers another round of refreshingly less humid, cooler weather for tomorrow and Sunday. Even Saturday morning looks nice and dry to start off with a few extra clouds. I think it stays pretty decent in through Sunday, and we look dry through this weekend. So the next few days featuring drier weather tomorrow, lots of sun, cooler on Saturday, even more sunny weather, and then Sunday brings back that humidity just in time to wrap up the weekend. We're dry this weekend, we're dry next week, but there's a big change in temperatures, and that is a cooling effect that'll take over, making it feel very pleasant a few days into next week. We'll give you those details coming up with a check of your 7-day forecast, Ken. That's in a few minutes.
By the way, Mike, just so you know, I already wrote a defamatory note to management about your camera operator, just so you know.
Oh, yeah, right. I know. So I would reset it at the top of the hour, but I had a little intruder who, when I left the door open, crawled over, wanted to touch the Roomba, so I had to deliver him back to Nonna, and it was a little kerfuffle over here. So,
And does his name start with an N by any chance?
it begins with an A.
What?
Antonino. Yes.
Oh, Antoinette. Well, there you go. Nino's the nickname. Gotcha. All right, very good. Well, you know what? He gets the cuteness award, so that's okay. He gets
Yeah.
that's a pass. Absolutely. We'll check back with you, my good friend. Thank you, sir. It is 72 degrees, very sticky right now in northern New Jersey, 73 degrees in Trenton. And we take a look at I-295 right now. Take a look at look at this mess. And where is this right now? It's Route 73 by Route 73 at I-295. So that is bumper to bumper. That's more toward as we head toward central New Jersey. And you could just see that I don't know yet. We don't have a report of an accident, but that may very well just be volume. But nonetheless, ugly to look at. We do have a disabled vehicle on the Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound, just south of Interchange 9 in East Brunswick. The left lane and shoulder blocked, and a crash on the Turnpike outside entry 12 by Interchange 12. That's Carteret area. The two left lanes blocked in that case. We have delays on the Goethals Bridge eastbound, the New York side going toward New York. So once you go from New Jersey into New York, Goethals, okay, that's when you hit the delays. And delays on Route 29 northbound by 295 in Hamilton Township. That's to north of South Warren Street in Trenton. All lanes currently open, just delays through there. Hudson River crossings right now. The Holland Tunnel is about 10 minutes, 15 to 20 at the Lincoln. GWB upper and lower levels, 8095 approach looking quite nice and moving well. 805, and lawmakers on the left across the country have been playing a little dirty. I mean, the right did it too many years, don't get me wrong, but against the right in the last 5 years for sure. Since the start of the Biden administration, there's been a lot of it. The Democrats took dirty to entirely new lows, many have said, weaponizing government agencies, using lawfare to lock up political opponents, etc. One of the left's darlings, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, that's my impersonation of Gretchen Whitmer, has used her office to suppress the Republican Party in her state for years. Well, in January, the Democrat state senator from Michigan's 35th Senate district became a U.S. Congresswoman, but the district always goes back and forth, Democrat, Republican, more traditionally Republican. The state constitution in Michigan says the governor is supposed to call a special election to replace the senator so that people have representation. But more than 200 days later, no election has been scheduled. Why? I'll tell you why. Democrats in the state Senate have a one-vote majority, and the 35th Senate district is a toss-up. So a lawsuit has now been filed to compel Whitmer to schedule an election. The man who broke that story is with us, former mainstream media news anchor Dave Bondy, editor of the Keeping It Real newsletter and host of Keeping It Real with Dave Bondy on Substack. You know, Dave, when I used to have people at Channel 7 toss to me with that kind of a toss, I'd say, okay, thanks, back to you. Tell them the whole story. But it's such a does that set it up right? I mean, is that what's going on there in Michigan?
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm on my phone, had some technical issues this morning. Yeah, that's basically it. And it's political. And the one thing I had the problem with this is this has been going on since January. Not one reporter has questioned her about it when they have had the chance to do it. So I emailed the governor's office. I did not get a response. No other reporter that I know of has actually asked her in person about this. And there have been Republican governors who have done this in the past, but this is a very long time. And it happens throughout the country, but it is obviously what many are saying is political, because if she were to call a special election and the Michigan Senate would be tied, it still could go her way because the lieutenant governor would have the tie-breaking vote, and he is a Democrat, obviously. But that would get a whole lot of other issues. All it would take is one Democrat to flip over. And so the governor is taking a calculated risk. Experts are saying, to do this, does it hurt? Because everything she's doing now is going to be brought out if she does run for president. So some are saying taking a risk by doing this.
Yeah, and and yes, you're right. Republicans have certainly done this. I could, in fact, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of several different cases throughout our region in the Northeast where we are, where that's happened. But I don't recall it happening when you have a one-vote majority, and that it would cause the tip-topping. I see Republicans delaying. I've seen them delay like 3 months, not 200 days. When you're talking 7, 8 months, what you're doing is depriving the electorate of having representation, which is against the constitution of your state. They of just about every state, because most of the state constitutions mirror the federal constitution. You can't deprive taxpayers. That's taxation without representation. That is against the law. So, there's a point where I can understand it costs money, et cetera, et cetera. But at least if she said, we're going to wait till November, they'd have an idea. But to just say, when we get to it, we get to it. What you're doing is legally depriving people who pay taxes from having the representation that they are entitled to under the Constitution.
And that's part of the lawsuit that was filed. And I've checked with some legal constitutional experts, and they're saying the Constitution in Michigan says she shall call an election. So the courts, the experts aren't sure how they're going to rule on this because it doesn't say a time frame. But as you're saying, common sense would tell you, yes, call the election. I live in this area actually that is in this district. So I don't have representation myself in the Michigan Senate. So this lawsuit is going to test the Constitution wording. What is shall call an election? If she doesn't, then the next one would naturally come in November of 2026. So we could go that long. But the judge has ordered her. I put an update out yesterday. The judge has ordered her to respond to the lawsuit. So it's very interesting. And everything she's doing now is under the lens of President Whitmer, because as many know, she was possibly one of the finalists for VP for Joe Biden. And now many people thinking she will be one of the, dozen on the Democrat side that could be running for president.
Yeah, I was reading the judge ordered a writ of mandamus, which is mandamus in Latin, and that's the way it's pronounced in Latin, is we shall command, or we command, and a writ meaning a letter. So a letter saying we command you to respond. But the judge stopped short of ordering her to actually do the election. That's the thing. The judge could have said, you must have the election, but instead the judge said, you shall respond to the lawsuit. So Governor Whitmer could respond to lawsuit by going like that if she wanted to, and then it would have to go to the next level. So it was interesting. I read that the political background of the judge who did the writ of mandamus was also a Democrat, by the way. So it was kind of curious. I was wondering if they were more conservative, if they would have just said, well, you should respond, if that would have been the same reaction.
Well, and then we have, if it does work its way up, we have the Michigan Supreme Court, which is almost all Democratic leaning. So this may not go anywhere. Experts say most likely it will not. But the lawyer doing this pro bono, he stood up. He lives in this area as well. We'll see where it goes, but it's just unusual. It's been since early January, that this has happened. And I've had several people reach out to me that said I should run for the open Senate seat in Michigan. I want no part of that. But here's the thing, even the lieutenant governor, who is a Democrat, he is saying they need to call a special election. The attorney general in Michigan, who is a Democrat, says they need to call it. So in Michigan, the top Democrats are starting to turn on each other, are starting to turn on the governor, which is very interesting now. So you have even Democrats saying that this is not proper.
In Michigan, Dave, does the lieutenant governor run independent of the governor, or are they both on the same ticket?
Both on the same ticket. Basically the vice president. She appoints him, and now he's splitting with her. But he is also running for governor in 2026 because she is term limited, so she's done, and now he is getting away from her.
Here's the bus, and here's Whitmer from the lieutenant. That happened in New York. By the way, New York State has a history of that. They run on the same ticket, but lieutenant governors have thrown the governors under the bus 100 times. It goes back about 40, 30 years in New York, I recall, in New York politics. They always throw the governor under the bus. I mean, the perfect example, Kathy Hochul right now. She was lieutenant governor. Governor Cuomo handpicked her. And the minute that he got into trouble, she threw him right under the bus. Okay, adios, Andrew. Ciao. Now, the thing that first of all, this District 35 in your state, does it look like a Republican could win the seat? Because it's traditionally Republican, but now it's sort of purple, right?
It's purple. It's a toss up. President Trump won this area, so not sure. Actually, it has Flint, Michigan, Saginaw, Michigan, where I am, but that's the fear probably amongst the governor. It could go Republican because there's a lot of pushback lately in Michigan over net zero green energy legislation that has been pushed. A lot of things economically depressed in Michigan, so it very well could go to a Republican, and they may not want to risk that at all.
Yeah, we're going through that in New Jersey. We're sitting right now because the Democrats who control everything in the state of New Jersey, governor, assembly, Senate, Supreme Court, everything, and many of the municipalities, they ordered the closure some years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, of 5 fossil fuel plants, energy plants, and 1 nuclear plant. That has now resulted because they never built green plants that they were supposed to. That money just kind of went poof. We don't know where the billions and billions went. Yet we pay the highest taxes in the whole country. And now we just had a tripling of our energy costs, tripling because we have to buy energy from surrounding states. And yet everybody goes, not my fault, not my fault, not my fault. Yep, that's what happens when, and by the
Wow.
way, the Republicans would have probably done the same thing. This is what happens when you have one party rule. It happens in New York City, it's happening in LA. One party rule. They think they're kings and queens and they try to get away with it. We could go on for hours about it. The former mainstream media news anchor like myself, Dave Bondy, editor of the Keeping It Real newsletter and host of Keeping It Real with Dave Bondy on Substack and other formats as well, but Substack is the best way to get it. Thank you, as always, my friend, for joining us this morning. And run for Senate, Dave. Run for Senate. I'll support you.
I don't want any part of
What?
that.
Katie would kill you. Katie would kill you. Your wife.
Yeah, she would, and it's all about the late. Whatever the wife wants, that's what happens. Yeah.
That's why you will be happy forever if you ignore what I just said a minute ago.
Thank you.
All right, Dave, have a great day, buddy. It is 72 degrees in northern New Jersey, 73 in Trenton. When we come back, Rowan University offers live theater for New Jersey. Get ready for the Marie Raider series. A shower or two this morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs around 90. Meteorologist Mike Favetta comes back with a full Garden State forecast, and we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. Don't go away. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 816, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Sticky, maybe a shower or two this morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs near 90. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Ken. Looking forward to brighter days ahead. A little cloudy right now across some parts of the state, but never fear because we've got a lot of sunshine ahead this weekend, right when it counts the most, right? Especially after the rain that's forecast across the shore points today. The beaches look a little wet by this afternoon, and temperatures climb into the upper 80s, near 90 again, with all of that high humidity. Well, the heat index currently sits at 79 on LBI, 75 in Newark, but with some clouds clearing today, we'll see that temperature rise into this afternoon. The smoke, most of it is back off to our north and west over the Midwest. I think our smoke will see some clearing today, but likely see a return to that smoke tomorrow as those wildfires continue. So there is a clearing that happens over the next few days, and with that, drier weather scoots on down from upstate New York and Canada, and that will drive the UV index higher and help temperatures climb. But it'll be a comfortable feeling as we're in that high range today for UV, but climbing back to very high as soon as tomorrow. Dew points where the temperature where the air is saturated, it is very humid through the rest of the day, but it dries out nicely into tomorrow morning. We're on that dry end of the scale throughout the end of the day and feeling quite pleasant going into Friday evening as well. The weekend starts off dry, turns more humid by Sunday, and then I think with the heat index climbing back into the 90s today, we're only in the 80s tomorrow and feeling quite nice with the 70s on tap for Saturday. So lovely weather ahead. Hour by hour, starting off with Monday into Tuesday, because the weekend is great. We look beautiful going into the middle of the week, but by Wednesday, we start to see the effects of what will then be major Hurricane Erin off our shores And again, all of these computer models turning it out to sea, so not expected to hit land. But as of now, keeping an eye on its development and track and progress as the hurricane hunters are going out every 12 hours and giving us the latest information. Temperatures throughout the weekend climbing into the low 90s, more humidity by the end of the weekend, but at least it starts off nice and dry, so enjoy that. We've got details on the 7-day forecast, Ken, and next week's a little bit of a cool down. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Mike, thank you. Hey, listen, is there any chance we could extend it and do a 7.5 day? I'm just wondering.
Seven and a
This way
half day.
we could be a half a day ahead of everybody else in the market. I think that's listen, listen. This is why they pay
That's
me $4 a day.
right.
This is why.
Edward R. Murrow is looking at you going, he's on to something.
He just got sick. All right, Mike, we will check back with you, sir. Thank you. It is 72 sticky degrees still. It has not budged. Literally, it says 72.4 on the northern New Jersey thermometer, and it has not budged a tenth of a degree since we went on the air at 7 a.m., just so you know. Traffic in the area. Let's go over to Union, New Jersey, I-78 at Vauxhall Road. You know that area. Look at the mess. It is just bumper to bumper. So if as you're driving through there, the sun is rising on the left, well, through the fog and whatever you have in the atmosphere there. Sun is on the left side. So that means the people coming toward you are headed north. People going away on the right there, they're headed south, and it is just a mess. So just beware. 78 at Vauxhall Road in Union is very heavy right now. Crash on the New Jersey Turnpike outside Interchange 12 and Carteret. The two left lanes are blocked. And we have delays on Route 4 eastbound from east of Hackensack Avenue and Hackensack to Queen Anne Road and Teaneck. All lanes are open. It's about a 2.5-mile delay right now. We do have some Hudson River crossing issues to tell you about. The GWB lower level eastbound right now. We're told all lanes are open, but travel time is now up to 20 minutes. It's probably just beyond our camera shot. Yeah, there we go. It's just beyond that camera shot. The next time we come to this shot, you will see that the travel time, it says by that point, will build up. I'm just looking at it right now. It's going to be the upper level that's impacted. So we'll see what happens as we come back. But nonetheless, it's still about 20 minutes in. It's 10 minutes at the Holland, 10 to 15 at the Lincoln. 8:21 is our time. And this fall, Rowan University's Marie Rader series offering families a chance to enjoy high quality live theater close to home. And kids 12 and under can go there for free. The season begins in a few weeks with The Magic School Bus, Lost in the Solar System, a stage adaptation of the classic children's book and TV series. Remember The Magic School Bus? That was fun. Joining us now to share more is Debbie Shapiro, Artistic Director of the Marie Rader series. Good morning, Debbie. Good to have you on.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I'm so excited to talk about our fall series. You've given away some of the best parts about the tickets being free for children 12 and under. That is really a wonderful, special thing that you're not seeing typically with this level of Broadway performers. TheaterWorks USA is the company that it will be bringing the Magic School Bus to Glassboro, New Jersey, and they are known for engaging young audiences through their touring productions around the country. And of course, this is a adaptation of that Scholastic classic that many of us have grown up with. My generation loves these characters and loves Miss Frizzle, and this is all about being lost in the solar system. So an epic interplanetary field trip where you're visiting Mercury and Mars and Venus, and it's also really theatrical. So you'll see a set that is pieces of the school bus that the performers are going to put together during the show, as well as singing and dancing and just keeping young audiences and their grown-ups entertained for an hour, easy peasy. And of course, for the adults, there are all kinds of ticket discounts for eligible groups. So access is first and foremost the most important thing to the mission of the Marie Rader series, where we're trying to bring this high quality to the people of South Jersey and bring together the members of our campus community at Rowan University with the general public. And live art is a great way for building bridges and connecting. And that is taking place on September 20th. So I wanted to make sure that folks are aware this is a Saturday coming up right after school starts with performances at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. So 2 chances to catch that.
And the key there is you want younger people. That's why I'm so glad if they're under 12, they get in free, because you want younger people to develop the love of theater, live theater, because too often this is all they get attached to. And that is not the same thing as the excitement, the energy, the magic. I remember the first live show that I attended, and you're just enthralled. There is just no comparison to even a movie theater. When you see live human beings interacting, anything could happen, right? When you have live theater. And this is quality theater. What a great way to get kids into theater, to get them in young. Hey, well, you have nothing to lose. It's free. Come on and check it out. Once they see that, they will be in love. And the Magic School Bus, it's been a favorite for generations. So in this particular production, you say you have the school bus they have to assemble there on stage. Is there anything else new or different that the kids might expect, or adults too, for that matter?
Well, with this show, I wanted to also mention there'll be live captioning. So, with lots of fast talking and singing, this adds extra accessibility for all audiences. I don't know about you, but a lot of us like to put on the captions even when we're at home watching anything on
Yes.
TV. And this makes sure that we are really including everybody, whether you're hard of hearing or just, distracted, right? We're trying to bring attention to one straight ahead piece of content, while the captions are going to be right above. And also, we'll have concessions in the lobby, as well as immediately following the show, the performers are going to meet the audience there. So, those who attend are invited to stick around, say hi, maybe you can shake a hand, get a photo. And like you said, Ken, with your first live theater experience, we want to create those memories that then inspire a lifetime of returning to the theater, participating in it, and supporting it.
And the show blends entertainment and educational themes too, right? So we learned about the solar system, et cetera. Talk about that.
Absolutely. So the students of Miss Frizzle's class need to work together as they journey into the solar system. But then there's always, a little climax where we're worried, are they going to make it home? So they really have to work together and figure out how to be a team so that they can make their way back home after a journey. I don't want to give too much away, but you're going to see that modeling of team building and working together and having fun all along the way, guided by our most favorite Miss Frizzle in that fabulous dress. That's what everybody remembers, and we'll have it live right on our stage.
I love it. And the Marie Raider series focuses on bringing intergenerational audiences together. So how does this production reflect that?
So the idea that this was a series that one generation who is now parents grew up with when we were children, what happens with the power of nostalgia, right? When we're trying to pass on our seminal memories from our own childhood to that next generation, that creates that bond. And with the accessibility of our venue and the accessibility of the ticket prices, we hope that grandma and grandpa come along too, right? So this ideally is an enjoyable experience for any age. And if you are part of a family with lots of generations, you should all feel welcome to attend together and then talk about what you liked, what you didn't like about the show afterwards. And that is a conversation topic that, again, allows folks to put their screens down, maybe sit down for a meal after the show and process it and enjoy together. So we hope to see lots of different age groups all in attendance.
And you're also opening things up culturally to the Latin community as well, because later this fall you have the Dia de Muertos performance. That happens at Halloween time. For those who don't know that, that's the Day of the Dead that's called, but that's how we call Halloween, but in Mexico they celebrate Dia de Muertos. So what can audiences expect from that event?
So I'm so excited to be welcoming Calpuli Mexican Dance Company to Rowan University for their Flieger Concert Hall debut, and they'll be bringing their original production that features lots of folk dance and live music and tells a Dia de Muertos story. And so it's this art form known to the Latin community as folklorico, which uses all different kinds of costumes and dance forms and props and songs and music to tell stories that celebrate the heritage. Dia de Muertos is a very sacred holiday within the Mexican American culture. It just so happens on the calendar that, especially this year, families can celebrate Halloween together on Friday and then sort of switch gears on Sunday and look at something that is really honoring the departed and draws from mythology of Mexican culture and brings you into this really vibrant underworld called Mictlan. And that's where that icon of the sugar school comes from. If you can imagine those painted faces that are not just skeletons, but are adorned with all kinds of vibrant colors and flowers, it's because there's so much honoring and embracing of those that we have lost and remembering them
Absolutely.
fondly.
And it is a beautiful part of the culture. We got about 10 seconds left. Debbie, want to make sure we get the website. What's a website for more info?
Thank you. go.rowan.edu/Marie Rader series. You can see Marie Rader series on the screen. So you just spell that out and that'll give you all the information, links to tickets, and how to reach us if there are any questions.
I love what you're doing. Thank you so much. Debbie Shapiro, Artistic Director of the Marie Rader Series at Rowan University. Go check it out. Thank you for joining us this morning. Come back again. All right. Thank you so much. It is now 8:29, and we have 72 degrees when we come back on New Jersey. Well, we have one New Jersey township that has had enough with parents doing nothing about their out-of-control kids. And so now their kids' bad behavior could send the parents to jail. News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh will join us with the details. Phone lines open at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says a shower or two this morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs near 90. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 30.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Hoffman, host of Energy Matters. Join me every night at 6 p.m. where we're discussing energy affordability, challenges, and solutions with stakeholders and elected officials. Join me weekdays at 6 p.m. on Energy Matters on ONNJ.
Very good morning to you. Thursday, August 14th, 2025, 72 degrees at 8:31. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. A shower or two around the area early this morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, highs near 90. So that could put us into the heat wave mode once again if that happens. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the detailed garden safe forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. It's just been hot all around. But the sun has been rising a little bit later and later now that we're about 2 months beyond the summer solstice. So we have to wait until the 8 o'clock hour to show you the visible satellite, which is beautiful early on a Thursday morning. But again, this doesn't work for the first, show at 7 a.m. So with the last 2 hours showing the progression of the clouds across northern New Jersey, I have a little bit of a cloudy start right now across the northern part of the state. Sunshine right now toward the beaches, but you have the best chance of seeing those showers and storms later on today, even with some clouds offshore there. From Atlantic City. So we begin our morning with a little break of sun, but ultimately see the clouds return and the showers and storms through this afternoon with temperatures that will climb into the low 80s with a little bit of rain forecast too. Not looking great to be out by the beaches, but I think the short points bring back the low 100s. I'm sorry, my kid is screaming from the other room and it's hilarious because Nona's feeding him breakfast and he is just so excited to be having his yogurt. Our forecast brings back low 90s this afternoon. With it, a little bit of wet weather from yesterday, more than an inch of rain fell, and it will feel quite pleasant this afternoon, especially tomorrow with more of the dry weather that comes back in. Now, with some Ken, Ken, can you go back to doubles? You have to hear this. Pam, can you hear this? I'm sorry. It's just I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone. My son is screaming. He's just so excited about his yogurt in the morning. It's comical. Okay, back to the sunshine throughout this afternoon. Again, we get a little bit of rain down the shore, and it'll feel a little bit cooler once we get into the afternoon. But the water temperatures remain nice and warm. Low 80s at the or upper 70s there. It'll feel nice with the low 80s, and then of course high tide happening 1 o'clock this afternoon, and time between 1 and 6 today. But again, you have the thunderstorms at the beaches. So with the sunset featuring a little bit of a earlier feel to the day, low risk of rip currents at the beaches, but we're keeping an eye down toward the tropics. That's Tropical Storm Erin, expected to become a hurricane later today, working its way westward and staying offshore away from any mainland. So the forecast back here in New Jersey brings back a little bit of that wet weather across the shore points. We have a little bit more of the clouds that come in for tomorrow, but ultimately it'll turn drier by the afternoon, and then we are cool and dry for Saturday with a nice pleasant start to the weekend. The low pressure that you see here giving us our showers and storms today swings out to sea, so we are nice and dry through the overnight into tomorrow, and we're pleasant with a lovely round of high pressure for the weekend, and that'll set the stage for a gorgeous 7-day forecast. Going into the next week, nice and cool this weekend, climbing back into the 90s by Sunday, so it does get hot briefly with more humidity for Sunday, and then cools off again for next week with temperatures in the low 80s. I think the shore points are slightly cooler, but overall, feeling great, looking great, even beyond. I think we are storm free after today, and then starting tomorrow, great weather down toward the beaches, Ken. So very, very pleasant.
I love it. Antonino gets the award. You know that under union rules, he's got to get a check now because his voice appeared on the show. So I know
It's just the
SAG-AFTRA.
the screaming. It was funny to hear it constantly throughout the entire broadcast, So it's
It
hard to
just
keep
shows
composure
he
when
has class. He has class and taste. He likes his yogurt. Good boy. You go, Antonino. This is a test.
hmm Still learning to
That's
sleep
awesome.
at night, though. This is why I'm so sleep deprived. Haven't slept through the night since, December 29th, 2024. 5. No, 4, yeah.
You can't even remember the year. That's a
What
good
year
thing.
is
All
it?
right.
Yeah.
That's why I say it every half hour. All right, Mike, we'll check back with you. Go give your son a big hug and a kiss. God bless
Thank
him.
you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, my friend. It is 72 sticky degrees here in northern New Jersey, central New Jersey. It is 74 down in Vineland, 73 degrees. It is 8:35. In terms of traffic, what we have right now, just a little bit of traffic here on Route 3 at Wood Avenue. This is in the North Bergen area. Oh, of course, now we take the camera shot. Now it's light. A minute ago it was heavy, but that's just morning volume. Nothing major there. Fortunately, it's been a decent morning. First hour, not so much. Now it's been a decent morning. We have delays on Route 4 eastbound from east of Hackensack Avenue and Hackensack to Queen Anne Road in Teaneck. All lanes are open, but heavy right now. We have delays on the Goethals Bridge eastbound from the on the New York side into New York. All lanes open. Travel time now 15 minutes from 278 in the Turnpike to exit 13, the West Shore Expressway. That's all due to heavy truck traffic right now. The GWB approach, I should say the upper and lower levels, 80-95 approach. Now you can see just starting to build a little bit, really nothing bad at all. We're told it's only about 20 minutes in for this hour. That's really good. It's 15 to 20 at the Lincoln, 10 minutes across the Hudson River at the Holland Tunnel. 8:36. We hear it all the time, adults saying, when I was a kid, if I got arrested, I'd fear my parents more than the police. Well, today that's not always the case anymore. Kids loitering, drinking, you have flash mobs because of social media, and lots more. Gloucester Township has had enough. At last summer's town festival, more than 500 kids got into a brawl. Now, if your kid gets into trouble with the cops now, well, you may end up paying the price. To talk more about it is News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh. Rich, good morning. Tell us about what's going on here in Gloucester Township. If the kids act up, now the parents are going to go to jail?
Good morning, Ken. Yeah, that's essentially the message. They're saying, keep your kids under control or face the consequences. I mean, that's the general message. Two parents from the Gloucester Town Council, they have a new law effective immediately. Any parent who essentially fails to stop their kid from breaking the law could face a fine of up to $2,000 and essentially jail time of up to 90 days. And obviously, this has people divided. Some parents are outraged, say this is setting a dangerous precedent and is a perfect example of government overreach. But it's all because of that festival that you mentioned last year, which they've now canceled because they couldn't find another way to have it without the risk of being overrun by teens. Last year there was like 500 that arrived at this thing and had a brawl, and it took 100 cops over an hour to calm the situation. The mayor came out and said, ultimately, look, we have a juvenile crisis in this country. It's not unique to Gloucester Township. but it's a larger, it's a symptom of a larger societal issue, juvenile crisis across the country. But so this is one possible solution, he said, is to hold parents accountable for their children. And this law that they passed, it's called Minors and Parent Responsibility. It says that parents will be held accountable for public disturbances caused by their child. Buried in there, it says they could go to jail. I've talked to one woman who's her name Alex Bauer from Moms for Liberty, which is a parents' rights group in New Jersey and elsewhere. And she says, "Look, this is crazy. This is definitely government overreach. They should not be dealing with, they should not be, policing parents. This is the wrong approach." But I talked to the mayor briefly, and he said, "Look, this is targeted specifically at a specific group of people. It's parents with kids under 18. If they break the law once, they will be given a warning. If they break the law a second time, then it will be up to the judge. But ultimately, this is targeting repeat offenders in the juvenile penal system." So I said, "Do you have any feedback yet? How it's going?" And he said, "No, it just started. I think it just went into effect about 10 days ago."
Yeah, and Rich, I remember as a kid, I'm 58 now, but I remember, I honestly, not to pat myself on the back, I've never had a run-in with the police. And I have one older brother, and I remember the 4th of July when he was about 17. I remember my dad telling him, "Don't go down to Edgewood Park." There was this park where we lived. "Don't go down to Edgewood Park. There's a bunch of hoodlums there." That's what my dad said. Sure enough, my brother went with his friends to Edgewood Park, and sure enough, police showed up, and my brother got put aside by police, but the cop knew my dad. Not back, it was a small town. Cop called my dad. My dad punished my brother more than the police could have ever done. But that was the era when parents revered the police more, than anything else. So if you are causing trouble with the police and your parents found out, you were in worse trouble. Like, you would beg the cop, "Don't tell my parents, please." Today,
Right.
you have parents fighting the police, saying, "How dare you arrest my son?" "Okay, well, your son was part of a 500 group flash mob that caused a riot. What do you want us to do?" I mean, the cop is doing their job, you know? So you could understand, I guess, the pressure, but I also understand the idea of Big Brother and overreach. So it's a real fine line they have to walk there. So now, ultimately, what is the maximum consequence for some parents if the kid continues to break the law? What can a judge ultimately sentence a parent to if they just keep ignoring what's going on with their kids?
I believe it's a $2,000 fine and up to 90 days behind bars. So that's the maximum. And again, the mayor stressed that this will be up to a judge who will weigh all the factors. But I talked to some parents. I said, what's going on here? Parents who are very dialed into New Jersey politics, and they're saying, "Look," and I forgive me, I haven't done the research on this, but they said several years ago, New Jersey basically passed laws which took out the teeth of policing youth. And so now they can't. And so now the onus is on each individual city and township to do it. And so that's the genesis of this Gloucester Township doing this. Like, especially when they had this big flash mob, it's like, what else do they do? So on the one hand, I can see the argument of the parents, like, this is government overreach. On the other hand, I can see how a township like Gloucester is like facing a situation, and they don't have any policing teeth to enforce situations with these kids. So I don't know. It's a tough one. It's certainly a debate. I have my own views on this because I have 4 young daughters, and I actually do live in New Jersey. But I'm sure they're gonna have outcry over this as this goes forward.
Sure. And Rich, it comes down to, if you think back to when a lot of this happened a few years ago, when you had the whole defund the police movement. Uh, the laws were just defanged entirely. We threw out the baby with the bathwater in communities all over the country. Look what happened in Washington, D.C. So adults know that, hey, we could take 17-year-olds who are basically adults, arm them with weapons, and let them go carjacking. And if they get caught, they'll get a JD, they'll get a slap on the wrist. It won't be a permanent record. So you got these 17-year-olds, 16 and 17-year-olds roaming Washington, D.C., sticking people up at gunpoint, knowing that absolutely no consequences would come of it. This became a rash of events. And so this is happening not just here, but everywhere in the country. It's going to be interesting to see if other municipalities wake up and do something about it. But nonetheless, it's good to see at least something was done, an effort was made. Maybe this isn't the right thing, but we'll see what happens. And if this works in Gloucester, I'm wondering if we see it happening everywhere. News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh, I appreciate you every time you come on. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for getting up so early because I know you work late with News Nation. Thank you again, Rich, for coming on.
Anytime, Ken. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You bet. Always. Always. And check out News Nation if you haven't. It's the fastest growing news channel on cable TV. It is fabulous. It is my favorite. I check it out every single day. News Nation. Go look for it. It's on your cable system. You will find it. 8:44 right now, and we have a temperature 72 degrees. When we come back, Haddon Township is bringing the groove back with its beloved Summer of Love Music Festival. We will explain. A shower or two around early, then partly cloudy during the afternoon. Highs near 90. Meteorologist Mike Favetta returns with a full Garden State forecast. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 30 seconds. Well, hello there. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 845, taking calls at 888-658-0234. A shower or two around early, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. Highs about 90. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will explain with the full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. But first, Ken, I have a special morning greeting from a longtime friend of yours, Jen Lauper. Says hello.
Oh, of course I know Jen. Hi, Jen.
How do we know Jen? My wife, the director at Macy's, is with Jen at this leadership summit over at the big Macy's headquarters. So they just met. And they say,
by the way, you know who Jen is related to? Listen to the last name. What's her last name?
Yes. No.
Yes.
What?
That is Cyndi Lauper's
Get
cousin.
out.
Jen, no, I'm not kidding.
Amazing.
Jen Lauper, and she even looks a little like her. So they look alike, but they are, they are cousins.
Selfie. So cool.
But she doesn't go up to you. She's not going to go up to you and say, "By the way, I'm Cyndi Lauper's cousin." She's Jen Lauper, but and she's a cool lady.
You need Ken to divulge the information. See, we got the inside scoop here on
This is
New
what
Jersey.
I do. This is what I do.
We got the.
She's a great lady. I hope they have fun.
I can't wait to hear more about it. But it's going to be one of those days where you kind of look forward to the sunny weather this weekend, right? Because there's still some clouds around. There's that level of humidity. But once we get to tomorrow, it turns drier. It turns sunnier. It looks brighter and beautiful. And we'll get some breaks of sun there in Hackensack and Jersey City today. But there's also the quick passing threat of a shower. Best chance of a storm is south and central parts of New Jersey, where drought monitor just updated. We are now back to a slight abnormally dry conditions across northern New Jersey and the western corner of the state. So this is new information. So now we are back to not a drought, just abnormally dry, because it has been very dry across northern New Jersey and especially the western corner of the state. Just in the last 30 days alone, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for abnormally dry conditions to persist, to go back into that level where we would see dry conditions. And we're about 2 to 4 inches below average in Trenton, 1 to 2 inches of a rainfall deficit there toward Morristown and down toward Mount Holly. So it has been a little dry, but we'll look forward to some wetter weather with another chance of rain later today. There is Tropical Storm Erin chugging through the Atlantic Basin, working its way westward. Right now, maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, but expected to strengthen to a Category 1 storm by tomorrow. And then for the weekend, a major hurricane, maximum sustained winds of 125 miles per hour by Tuesday. However, it stays out in the Atlantic for now, so not expecting it to come anywhere near land in the next 5 to 7 days. So some good news there. Cooler than average temperatures through the end of the month for New Jersey, and then slightly below average rainfall to the north. We are kind of on the cusp of seeing average rainfall. So plan on another shower later on today across southern New Jersey. Tomorrow is dry and beautiful, and those beautiful balmy breezes will take over on Saturday. A little more humidity by Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, bringing back some warmer weather before cooling off into the low 80s. The shore points are also amazing this weekend. Lots of sunshine to enjoy. But before you head and look toward the forecast next week for the beaches, keep in mind there's going to be a major hurricane just offshore, so that will really make for some large surf and swells toward the middle and end of next week, while the beach weather looks very nice. So might see some advisories issued toward the beaches about a week from now due to those large swells. But other than that, weather looks great, Ken.
Well, take great. I like that. And go give Antonino a little hug and a kiss from Uncle Ken and enjoy the day. Thank you so much,
Will
Mike. In
do.
fact,
See you
enjoy the
next week.
weekend. We'll catch you again next week. You got it, pal. Enjoy
Okay.
it. 8:49 right now, 72 degrees northern New Jersey, 74 degrees in Trenton right now. Let's take a look, if we can, at our camera in Paramus. This is I-4, Route 4 rather, at Route 17. A little bit of traffic on the right side. A lot of the folks have made it to their destinations, it looks like, because all we have really is volume to report. That's a good thing. I'm not complaining about that. But right down the line, we just have volume, 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 no crashes, no stalls. That's all a good thing. We have delays on the Garden State Parkway northbound, north of exit 147, Clinton Avenue in East Orange to exit 150, which is Hoover Avenue, Bloomfield. All lanes open. It's about a 2.5 to 3 mile delay, again, caused by volume. Our approaches to the Hudson River right now, the 8095 approach to the GWB, still moving quite well. It's only 10 to 15 minutes across into Manhattan. There it is, wide open. It's always nice to see. That will change in about 3 weeks when everybody's back to school. People are back from vacations, I promise. But for now, enjoy the site. It's only 15 minutes at the Lincoln as well, and only 10 at the Holland. 8:50 is our time. Haddon Township is bringing the groove back with its beloved Summer of Love Music Festival. It's happening Saturday, August 23rd, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. For one day only. Haddon Avenue will transform into a retro street party packed with live music from 5 incredible bands, plus a beer garden, food trucks, artisan vendors, a kids zone, and a glow party to close the night. Best of all, it is free. It's family friendly, and it's all about celebrating community. Joining us to talk about this year's event is Haddon Township Mayor Randall W. Teague. Mayor Teague, good to have you on.
Well, thanks for having me, Ken. I'm a little worried about that hurricane forecast, but let's keep that away from Haddon Township next Saturday.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't look like it's going to hit land. Mike is saying it's just going to cause some waves. It looks like 90%.
All
That's
right.
that's what we're looking for. So we'll
All
we'll be
right.
good.
We'll go with that.
This, I love it, and I love this concept. So who first came up with this? How did it all begin? The Summer of Love.
Well, we decided to do something for Woodstock, their 150th, I think not 150th, whatever their anniversary was. I forget the exact date. So we decided to do something for Woodstock. And we were concerned it was the end of the summer. Everybody's down the shore getting ready for school, vacations. We weren't sure of what kind of reception we would get for this. But we did it, and we had a great amount of people that came to it. It was a great event. We had some great bands, and they played music from the 60s and 70s, which we've now expanded to include the 80s as well. But it was very well received. It was a nice turnout for the end of the summer. And what we found is, people were getting ready to get back to the swing of things, whether it's work, off of vacations, getting the kids to school. And it was just one last party on Haddon Avenue before all that occurs.
I love it, Mayor. For the record, because I'm 58, Woodstock happened in 1969. So this is, as of next week,
Okay.
it is 56, not
50. All
150.
right.
You're
So it was
making
the
me
50th
ancient.
anniversary, not 150. I'm thinking,
I love
something
it.
else. I don't
So there
know.
you go. There you go. It's a good thing. All right. So what makes this year's festival stand out, though, from past years? What do you have special going on?
Well, I think we just build each year. We see what the people like, what feedback we get, and we build upon that. So we keep improving the bands. This year we have, and we were hoping to get him last year, but he wasn't able to come. I don't know if you remember the Flock of Seagulls, but their lead guitarist, his band is going to be there. It's called the Eddie Burner Rock and Roll and Grill Band, and they will be playing. And it's just the bands that we play. We only have 5 bands, but they play longer than some of our other music festivals. So, it's some really good music. And again, we go from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s. It's a nice variety. It's something for everybody. It's music that you have fun with. People are dancing, they're just enjoying themselves, and it's a great day. It really is.
And for those who don't realize or don't remember Flock of Seagulls, they had the big hit, I Ran So Far Away. That was from 1982. I was a disc jockey back then. So I remember we
Yeah.
used to play Flock of Seagulls. I said, yeah, all the stacks of wax going out to you, Mayor. Telling us about tell us some more about the music line. Like, did you help physically put together this music lineup? Because it sounds like you were very hands-on on this, and that's why it sounds so fun.
Well, we're all involved. We're all looking. There's myself, Kate Burns, our business improvement director, the head of the business improvement district, Mike Perot, and we all get together. We talk about these events and how we brainstorm how we can make them bigger and better and more enjoyable for everybody. So we try and pick out the music and the bands that will complement the show that we're putting on.
And you have a lot of food for foodies too. You got the food trucks coming. How many trucks do you know are going to be coming on the
I
weekend?
will probably have about a dozen trucks. We always get all the food trucks want to come to these events of ours because it's we get a lot of people and everybody likes to eat and drink too. We do have a beer garden as well, although I think more people drink seltzers now, so maybe we should start calling it a seltzer garden. But there's something for everybody. We have activities for the kids, and as you said earlier, there's at 9 o'clock, everybody gets a glow stick, and it's dark out, and we all wave the glow sticks, and some people are dancing, some people just waving the glow stick, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very enjoyable for everybody.
And more importantly, I used to live in Belleville, and Belleville gets a bad rap for a lot of stuff, but Belleville has a lot of heart and soul. It's a great community right outside of Newark, for those who don't realize. And they used to have block parties. And
Mhm.
one thing I learned from all the block parties is you get to meet neighbors you would never get to talk to. People who
Mm.
say, like, you look familiar. Where do you live? You're only two houses down. I've never talked to you.
Um,
You get to, like, there are neighbors I used to pass before I went to the first block party whom I knew by face, but I didn't know their names. I didn't know they had three kids. I didn't know that one of the kids was a doctor. I knew nothing until the block party. Suddenly you
yes,
come out, you have a reason to
yes.
talk to your neighbors. Did you feel that that was such an essential thing to help build the bond in your community?
Oh, absolutely. Not only that aspect of it, but also a reconnect. So, we're always, as our kids go through high school, we're with this group of parents. And then as the kids go off to college or wherever, you sort of lose touch with those people. We have events like this, and you see those people again. And it's great to reconnect. How are your kids doing? What's going on? When you ordinarily wouldn't be able to do that, or there's just no mechanism to do that. This creates these types of events, create that atmosphere, getting people together, seeing your neighbors, as you said, seeing people that you haven't seen for quite some time, and you get to continue to maintain those relationships, which is great and healthy for our residents in our town.
Yeah, and the festival's free. Why is that so important for the community to have that as a free thing?
Well, we just want people to come up to the Avenue. If you just want to listen to music, you can just listen to music. We don't want to charge anybody. We just want it to be an enjoyable event. If you want to buy some food, if you want to buy a drink, you can. The activities are free, and it's just something to give back to our community, bring people from other towns and other areas to see what Haddon Township has to offer, all that's going on our Haddon Avenue. We got a lot of new restaurants coming in, new restaurants that have come in. And it's people are surprised, and people who have grown up in our town and maybe live, a couple of communities away come and they can't believe what Haddon Township has turned into and what a great spot it is. And we get a lot of people
Yeah, it's
from the Patco Speed Line as well, because we're the
sure.
Westmont train station is right there.
I mean, this is the best PR pitch for the town too. Make it look beautiful because it is a beautiful town. Show all the great restaurants and businesses you have right there, and I'm sure that's a great thing for them because I'm sure people who don't even go to Haddon, if they just go to work and they come home and they ignore what else is in town, they probably never even experience all the great restaurants that you have
That
there now or coming in. So this is a
yeah,
great PR
no,
pitch. And Mayor, what's a website? We're running out of the show's about to end actually. So what's a website
uh,
for people to get more info?
shophaddon.com.
I love it. Shophaddon.com. What a great town and
Yep.
what a great idea. What a great mayor. Mark your calendars for the Summer
Well,
of
thank you
Love
very
music.
much.
Well, that's the truth. Here, before you go, I'm just remind everybody, mark your calendars. It is the Summer of Love Music Festival. It's next Saturday, right? August 23rd, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. on
Yep.
Haddon Avenue in Haddon Township. Mayor Randall W. Teague, thank you for joining us. Come back anytime. Let us know how everything went.
Yeah. All right. Always glad to be here. Thank you,
All
Ken.
right.
Have a great rest of
You
your summer. Hope to see you in a week.
absolutely. You got it, Mayor. Have a great day. Thank
All
you.
right. You too. Thank you.
Meteorologist Mike, you bet. Mike Favetta says maybe a shower or two this morning, then partly cloudy this afternoon, highs near 90. And that is on New Jersey mornings for your Thursday, August 14th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you could stream us at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, X, Substack, Rumble, and Twitch. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. Have a great day.